Why do more tourists convert to Islam in Turkey than anywhere else? This isn't just a rumor. It's a documented phenomenon that's puzzling researchers worldwide. From British actresses to Hollywood actors, Western tourists keep having life-changing spiritual experiences in Turkey. But here's what's strange. Turkey isn't even the most religiously conservative Muslim country. So what makes it different? The answer lies in something much deeper than tourism marketing. Something that connects ancient history to modern faith. Hollywood actor Liam Neeson almost converted to Islam, not in Saudi Arabia, not in Egypt, but in Istanbul, Turkey, while filming Taken 2. He said he was overwhelmed by the call to prayer drove him crazy at first, but then it got into his spirit and became the most beautiful thing. He literally said, "There are 4,000 mosques in the city. It really makes me think about becoming a Muslim." But Neeson isn't alone. This pattern keeps repeating. Aisha Rosalie from Britain, multiple German tourists, French visitors, American students. They all say the same thing. I saw good Muslims with good character. It made me want to be that person. Turkey was the main reason I became Muslim. I felt like I was born again. Notice the pattern? It's not just about the religion, it's about how it's lived. But what is it about Turkish culture that makes Islam feel so natural? Ask anyone who's visited Turkey. The hospitality is different. Not just polite, it's profound, almost sacred. But why? It's called Torah, an ancient Turkish code that makes hospitality a sacred duty. Not just Islamic values, but something deeper, pre-Islamic, ancient Turkic tradition that treats guests like divine messengers. When Islam met this culture, it wasn't replacement, it was recognition. But wait until you hear about this word, Torah itself. Torah. Torah, same pronunciation, same meaning, divine law. One Hebrew, one Turkic. Coincidence? Linguists are discovering these aren't just similar words. They might be the same word, separated by thousands of years and miles, but sharing common roots that predate both Hebrew and Turkish. This changes everything we thought we knew about the origins of monotheistic law. To understand this, we need to go back, way back, to a civilization most people have never heard of. Thousands of years before Abrahamic monotheism, there was already advanced monotheism, not in the Middle East, in the mountains of Central Asia. The Turkic peoples worshiped Tengri, the eternal sky god, not a primitive tribal deity, but a sophisticated monotheistic concept. One supreme creator, timeless and infinite, ruling over all creation. Archaeological evidence from 3300 BCE shows this wasn't shamanism. This was organized monotheistic religion. But how sophisticated was this civilization really? Tengri wasn't just a sky god. Tengri was the god who happened to rule from the sky. Ancient Turkic inscriptions describe Tengri as timeless and infinite, beyond all creation, the source of all order. This isn't primitive mythology. This is advanced theology that rivals anything from the ancient world. They understood divine transcendence, cosmic order, moral law, and spiritual authority thousands of years before the Abrahamic religions. Their most powerful concept? Divine political authority. As there is only one God in heaven, there can only be one ruler on earth. This wasn't just politics, this was theology. The Turkic concept of divine monarchy didn't come from copying other civilizations. It came from their monotheistic understanding that earthly authority must reflect heavenly unity. One God, one cosmos, one legitimate earthly representative. For better or worse, this idea would later influence Chinese mandate of heaven, messianic expectations of philosopher king in Judaism, the Islamic concepts of caliphate, and the European divine right of Caesar. But their legal system was just as advanced. The Turkic Torah wasn't just custom. It was a comprehensive legal code that covered every aspect of society. Social justice, economic regulations, family law, criminal justice, international relations, commercial ethics. The Torah addressed everything the Hebrew Torah would later address: witness testimony, court procedures, property rights, inheritance, marriage. When you compare Torah and Torah side by side, the parallels are stunning. Almost identical structures, similar principles, matching concerns. But the most profound connection involves the divine feminine. Meet Akana, the White Mother. The Turkic goddess of primordial waters, protector of mothers and children, divine feminine principle of creation. Akana lived in heaven, invisible to common people, but whose light penetrated believers and remained until death. She was fertility, protection, divine presence among the people, especially mothers and families. Due to her nature, she was known as Mother of Health, Protection, and Serenity. Ak-Ana became Sak-Ana. The word Sak rooted in the word Sag meaning health. In Turkic cosmology, Tengri the Sky Father ruled over Ak-Ana the Water Mother in cosmic marriage, creating ordered reality from primordial chaos. This same divine feminine appears throughout later traditions: Ak-Ana, Shakina, Sakina. 3 names, 3 traditions, 1 divine feminine principle. Hebrew Shakina, God's feminine aspect, divine presence dwelling among the people, protector of families, comforter of the exiled, the motherly face of the divine. Arabic Sakina, divine tranquility that descends into hearts, God's peaceful presence, spiritual comfort, and reassurance. Scholars trace it directly to Hebrew Shekinah, but they all trace back to Ak-Ana, the primordial divine mother whose protective presence bridges heaven and earth. Even the names preserve the ancient memory. Tengri, Tanri, 4,000 years of linguistic evolution, but Turkish people never stopped using the same name for God. Ancient Turkic Tengri became medieval Tengri, then Ottoman Tanri, then modern Turkish Tanri, the word Turks use along with Allah. The pronunciation shifted, but the concept remained: the one supreme God of heaven and earth. This isn't just linguistic curiosity, it's evidence of unbroken theological continuity spanning millennia. But then catastrophe struck this ancient monotheistic civilization. How does pure monotheism become corrupted polytheism? It's simpler than you think. God has many aspects: creator, judge, protector, provider. Over time, communities start emphasizing different aspects. Eventually, those aspects become separate gods. The one becomes many through misunderstanding. The same pattern appears everywhere. Greek Zeus as Sky Father, Demeter as Earth Mother, Athena as Wisdom. Ancient aspects of one supreme deity, now worshipped as separate beings. For the Turkic peoples, this corruption came through enslavement and forced migration. Centuries of sinification left its mark on Tengrism, adding ancestor worship and aspects of animism. Climate change and Chinese military pressure forced the Great Turkic Migration. The people scattered, and so did their pure monotheistic teaching. As Turkic tribes spread across Eurasia, some to Europe, some to the Middle East, some to India, they adapted their religion to local conditions. Pure Tengri worship gradually fragmented. Different tribes emphasized different aspects of the divine. Unity became multiplicity. Monotheism became polytheism. In Mesopotamia, this corruption took a specific form. Mesopotamian polytheism wasn't primitive superstition. It was corrupted Turkic monotheism. Tengri, the sky god, became separate deities for sun, moon, stars, planets. The unified cosmic order became a pantheon of competing celestial beings. Each city-state had its favorite heavenly body to worship. Archaeological evidence shows Mesopotamian sky worship patterns matching ancient Turkic cosmology, just fragmented and multiplied. But one man would challenge this entire corrupted system. Abraham's journey from star to moon to sun to God wasn't discovery. It was systematic restoration. Quran 6, 76, 78. Abraham looks at the star and says, "This is my Lord." Then it sets. He tries the moon, it sets. The sun, it sets. Finally, "I love not things that set, I turn to him who created all things." This perfectly describes correcting corrupted sky worship. Abraham wasn't discovering monotheism. He was demonstrating why worshipping individual celestial bodies corrupts the original sky god monotheism. This reveals the true pattern of prophetic messages. Prophets don't bring new religions, they restore corrupted old ones. 1. Pure monotheistic teaching. 2. Community spreads and fragments. 3. Pure teaching gets corrupted. 4. Prophet arrives to restore original truth. 5. Process repeats. This is the pattern throughout religious history. Abraham restored corrupted Mesopotamian religion. Moses restored corrupted Israelite practices. Jesus corrected corrupted Judaism. Muhammad restored all corrupted Abrahamic traditions. Peace and blessings unto them all. With Prophet Muhammad, the final restoration finally came. Islam is the final restoration, not a new religion, but the return to original monotheistic truth. According to Islamic teaching, all humans are born in fitrah, natural monotheistic state. All prophets brought the same core message, La ilaha illallah, meaning there are no gods, there is only Allah. Islam restores this primordial knowledge. But if Islam is universal restoration, why did it take root most naturally among certain peoples? The answer takes us back to the Turkic peoples. When Islamic teachings reached Turkic lands, something remarkable happened. Not conquest, recognition. Turkic peoples didn't need to abandon their core beliefs. Tengri became Allah. Same concept, different language. Torah law harmonized with Sharia. Ancient hospitality traditions found perfect expression in Islamic ethics. It wasn't forced conversion, it was cultural completion. Islam provided the missing pieces of their ancient fragmented monotheism. This wasn't learning something foreign. For Turkic peoples, Islam wasn't foreign revelation. It was ancestral recognition. Islamic concepts activated dormant cultural memories. Allah is Tengri. Sharia principles are like Torah values. Islamic hospitality is ancient guest honor traditions. The Quran's monotheism is their ancestors' original faith. This explains modern tourist conversions. It felt natural, like coming home. I felt born again. They're experiencing the same recognition their ancestors felt centuries ago. Today, this recognition spans the globe. 190 million Turkic Muslims worldwide. That's 12% of the entire global Muslim community. Turkey, 85 million. Uzbekistan, 35 million. Kazakhstan, 20 million. Azerbaijan, 10 million. Plus millions more in Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and diaspora communities across Europe, America, and Asia. They form a geographic bridge connecting Europe, Asia, Middle East, and Central Asia, the crossroads of global Islamic civilization. But who exactly are the Turkic peoples? Turkish originally meant Turkic peoples without tribal affiliation. It was the post-tribal identity. Medieval Muslim historians used Turk for any Central Asian nomadic people, regardless of specific tribe. Turkish meant you identified with broader Turkic civilization rather than just your clan. Modern Turkey represents this synthesis. Turkic identity plus Anatolian heritage plus Islamic civilization plus Republican citizenship. This post-tribal identity made them natural bridges. Turkic Muslims became the ultimate civilizational bridges, connecting East and West, ancient and modern, tribal and universal. Geographically, Turkey connects Europe to Asia. Central Asian Turkic states link East Asia to Middle East. They control the ancient Silk Road crossroads. Culturally, they translate between Islamic and Western values, ancient wisdom and modern life, tribal loyalty and universal brotherhood. Their greatest synthesis came during Ottoman rule. The Ottoman Empire represented the peak of Turkic Islamic synthesis, ruling 3 continents for 600 years. They created the world's most successful multi-ethnic Islamic state, preserving Christian and Jewish communities while spreading Islamic civilization. Their legal system combined Sharia with customary Torah law. When the Ottoman Empire ended, it left behind 40-plus modern nations. The Turkic synthesis had shaped 3 continents. But this wasn't just historical, it was prophetic restoration with physical evidence. Archaeological evidence is confirming the Torah connection. Ancient Turkic monotheism wasn't mythology, it was history. Bronze Age sites across Central Asia show sophisticated monotheistic symbolism. Orkhon inscriptions from 8th century preserve legal codes matching biblical patterns. Kurgan burial practices reflect sky god cosmology. Carbon dating confirms organized Turkic monotheism predates Abraham by over a millennium. The linguistic evidence is even stronger. Languages preserve memories that history forgets. Torah, Tengri Tanri, Akana Shekinah, Tu Sakina. These aren't coincidences. They're linguistic fossils preserving ancient connections across thousands of years and miles. Comparative linguists are documenting systematic connections between ancient Turkic and Semitic language families. Modern genetics confirms the migrations. DNA doesn't lie. Population genetics is tracing the ancient migrations that carried monotheistic ideas across continents. Genetic studies confirm waves of massive Turkic migrations from Central Asia to the Middle East, Anatolia, and Europe. The same roots that carried genes also carried ideas, including religious concepts. Modern Turkish DNA shows both ancient Anatolian and Central Asian markers, genetic proof of the cultural synthesis. Academics are taking notice. The Torah thesis is generating serious academic discussion across multiple disciplines. Linguists are documenting the etymological connections. Archaeologists are confirming ancient Turkic monotheism. Religious scholars are reconsidering monotheistic origins. Historians are mapping the migration patterns. This thesis fundamentally rewrites the zeitgeist of religious development and cultural transmission. But the most compelling evidence remains experiential. Every tourist notices it. Turkey feels different from other Muslim countries, more welcoming, more natural, more familiar. Now we know why. Tourists aren't experiencing foreign Islam. They're experiencing restored monotheism through its original cultural framework. Turkish Islam feels natural because it is natural. The conversion statistics validate the thesis. When Islam is experienced through its ancestral cultural context, it achieves maximum authentic appeal. This brings us full circle to our original question. Islam plus Turkic culture equals the perfect synthesis. Not because of modern politics, but because of ancient restoration. 4,000 years ago, pure Turkic monotheism. Migration and corruption created polytheism. Abraham began restoration. Islam completed restoration. When Islam reached Turkic peoples, the circle closed. Ancient wisdom met final revelation. This explains why 190 million Turkic Muslims serve as natural bridges in the global ummah. They're not converts, they're reverts and returnees. The Torah connection changes everything we thought we knew about monotheism's origins and Islam's ultimate destination. Stay tuned for detailed evidence as the research continues.